Hey guys, it's Kate, and I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I'm here to talk a little bit about granulating colors and granulating medium, and Scampy says hello. But today we're going to see the effects of granulation medium when used with watercolor. So I'm sitting here with my Mozart Kohlrabi palette. It's already pre-moistened, but if you're curious what granulation is, it's basically a texture with your watercolor where it kind of settles into the creases and grooves of your paper and almost looks like sediment that's left behind. And it's more likely to happen with certain colors like earthy tones, blues, browns, greens, and some purples, where reds typically don't really granulate. And you can get watercolor palettes that are made to be more granulating. A lot of artists like to use that to add texture to their painting. But if you don't have granulating colors, or if you want more granulation in your paints, she keeps crying. She's ready for her nighttime cuddles. So if you want more granulation in your paints, you can add granulation medium. And there's a couple of brands that make it that I know of, but I have Winsor & Newton, so that's what we're going to use today. Now on this side, I'm going to try some of my colors so you can see what they dry like without using any granulation medium. So I'm going to start with Carmine, and I'm just going to put down just sort of a light wash, and it's not going to be, too pristine or anything like that. Then I'm going to go in with my ultramarine, and I haven't really found that the colors in the Kohlrabi palette are particularly granulating, although the ultramarine is a little bit more than the red, and you can kind of see that already in the color on the page. So next I'm going to go into my Payne's Gray and put a coat of that on my page, just like that. And then I'm going to go in lastly to my yellow ochre. I'm going to get that a little bit more moistened, and I'm just going to put kind of a line across the bottom. And my Payne's Gray is going to spread into that just a little bit. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and this is going to be our sheet without using any granulation medium. But I'm going to use those same exact colors on this page with the medium. So I'm going to start again with that carmine color, and I'm just going to add some more moisture, and we're going to put that wash on here. I'm just going to add a touch more water and spread that in just like this. And I've got a good sheen of moisture on my page, and I'm going to come in to my granulation medium and grab my little dropper tool, and I've got about this much, and I'm just going to spread this right into my paint. And then I'm just going to help it move around a little bit by lifting up the paper. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you can see that flow, and you can see the granulation start to happen. And it's kind of a neat effect. It almost looks like little pepper flakes or something in your paint. So I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to start on our next color, which is the ultramarine. And so I'm going to get a load of that on my brush and do the same thing. And I'm going to get just a few drops of the granulation medium, about the same amount. And I'm going to spread that around a little bit as well. And every time I tilt it, it's going to also tilt the color above. And where it touches, we may get some crossover in color, but that's all right, because we'll still be able to see the effect. And we might even make ourselves a decent little painting. All right. Next up, we're going to do the Payne's Gray. And I'm trying to get a fairly even coat, similar to my color above. I think the Payne's Gray is probably the most naturally granulating color out of this palette, but we should be able to get even more of an effect here. And so once again, I'm just going to kind of move this back and forth and let it pick up that color. And this is particularly nice in maybe some landscape paintings and really anywhere where you might want some texture. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to do a little bit of a line of yellow ochre. And just spread some right across it. And the more granulating medium that you use, the more of an effect you'll see. If I wanted to add more to any of these while they're still wet, you'd be able to see that. And we're going to go ahead and let this dry and see how everything looks. Okay, I'm back and I'm going to show you some differences. First, I did this off camera and I wanted to show you the effects that 3 different fluid texture mediums can have on your paint. So this top one, I used ultramarine from the Mozart Chroma Raby palette and I sprinkled some salt on it so you can see the dispersion of some color. This one is some alcohol splashes that I added. And this one is the granulating medium. All of these are the same color, ultramarine blue, and you can see the different effects that you can get with each of those. And this is dry, and you can almost see that peppery look of that medium that's on here. And that's really just beefing up that granulation effect, for lack of a better word. So this is the paper that we painted together without granulating medium, and you can see that sort of smoothness from the red, except for where you can see my brush strokes, and also some of this ultramarine. Now if you look closely, you can see some very slight granulation that is naturally in the paint, and you can really see it in the Payne's Gray. This is just how the paint dries on the paper, and it's a naturally granulating color. And this is the yellow ochre, and this one does not have too much granulation in it at all. Now contrast that with the same exact colors with granulation medium added, and you can see that the least effect is with this red, because basically whatever granulation you're already working with, the medium is just going to bump it up. So you have some of that granulation effect in here, and it's a little bit more pronounced with the ultramarine blue, and in the Payne's Gray, it's really incredible the difference between the two and the difference between these. And again, you can also see it with that yellow ochre, and I will hold that up for another close-up, and you can almost see it's like a super fine pepper flake or something that's in the paint. And that's really that sediment that is settling due to the medium. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some ideas on how you can use granulation medium in your painting. Again, I used for this demonstration Winsor & Newton granulation medium. You can get this on Amazon, and also local craft stores probably carry it, like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. But if you're interested in trying it for yourself, I'll place a link in the description below. But thank you so much for watching today. Hope this helped, and until next time, keep creating.